Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things. And now we see them, and boy, oh boy, we got another one of these episodes here for you guys here today. So let's just stick around, put on your seatbelt, because I don't even know what I'm going to say in this particular episode. So make sure you like the video, subscribe. Anyway, as y'all know, Gilbert Arenas has been making. He's been in the news, right? And he's been making a lot of news primarily because of the things he originally said about Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? And that got a lot, and he came under a lot of criticism for that. Why? Because Gilbert Arenas made some comments that fly in the face of reality. Number one, he said Giannis Antetokounmpo doesn't understand how to play basketball. That's an outlandish take, number one. Number two, he then went on to say Giannis doesn't understand what it takes to be great, which is even more ridiculous than the first comment. And people roasted him up and down all over the place, right? All over the place. He went out there, tried to, double down on his positions. No one understood, what he would talk about. And from some of the comments that I read, because we did cover that a bit, from some of the comments that I read for people supporting him, I just think that these people that support Gilbert Arenas these people are just contrarians, man. They just they can find any argument to be on the other side of it. Even the most obvious thing, they can be on the other side of it, right? If you look outside, everybody's looking at the sky is blue. 2 o'clock in the afternoon is blue. These guys can come outside and tell you, no, the sky is red, right? Because maybe you're vibrating at the wrong level. What you don't understand is maybe the angle. Like, they're just always going to be people like that. Always contrarians, right? And that's what we got a lot of when these guys were trying, to defend him. Now, recently, however, he went on Vlad TV. And while he was on Vlad, he made some comments that once again left a lot of us out here scratching our heads like, wait, what? So before we go too far, we want to quickly play. It's not long, it's quite brief. We want to quickly play what he said on Vlad TV, and then we're going to come back. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
Just diving into my list, I'm going to just go and say he's going to be top 10. Somehow I'm going to put him in the top 10, knowing what I know, knowing his work ethic, knowing his height, knowing what he does, the excitement, being a guard, in Golden State where I was too. Like, I'm going to put him in the top 10 just off of rip. Like, it's like one of those things. I'm going to put him and then I'll try to figure it out from there, but we're trying to compare his style to a style that is dinosaurish. You know what I mean? So when someone was like, well, how are you going to leave out like Larry Bird? Easy. Like, I can do that easy. I can look at his stats and then go there, not realizing, well, the game is so much faster. Meaning when they were scoring 86, 96, these guys are scoring 100, 120, 140. So they're going to get more attempts than you. So their numbers are going to be higher than yours. It's going to be inflated because they're moving faster. They're not sitting there pounding the ball in. So it's hard to really gauge, so I say, I can only go off of from 90 up. Anybody before the 90s, I don't put them in my top 10.
So for those of you who may not know, the person he's referring to in that clip is Stephen Curry. Why he would have him in his top 10, and then he proceeded on to go say a bunch of just whatever. So he said that. Well, apparently, Chris Broussard and Rob Parker on The Odd Couple on FS1, they caught a whiff of what Gilbert Arenas had to say about players in the 90s, right? And when it was time for them to give their rebuttal to what he had to say, they weren't very amused. So what we want to do is we want to play what Chris Broussard and Rob Parker had to say in response to what Gilbert Arenas had to say, and then we're going to come back and react to it. So take a listen to that.
So Rob G, Gilbert Arenas, I don't know. I mean, is this his plan to say just some ridiculous stuff to get himself out there? I mean, he is a guy, Rob, that you would think would be good on TV. I mean, he was a colorful personality. His game matched that. He was good enough where, you'd have to give him respect. And so I don't know. Maybe he's saying, look, if I say some outlandish stuff, maybe I'll get recognized. Or maybe he believes this foolishness. But anyway, he was on Vlad TV where Rob G and I were talking, where brothers go to say crazy things, Rob. I don't know if you ever watched Vlad
is that
TV.
It? It's called, it should be called Meshuggah TV because it's crazy. I think Gilbert Arenas, the whole conversation is asinine. What did they used to say on First Take? Asinine,
Asa 1,
10,
right,
Asa 10, Asa 11. I mean, Chris.
No,
1990. Stop it. We don't.
It's
we
not
don't
even
need,
right to say before 1970, but at least I might get that.
But 1990, Chris, really?
Michael Jordan came into the league in 1984.
Right. So you don't count Michael Jordan and what he. Right. Charles Barkley and Joe Dumars, all those guys were like in the early to mid.
Isaiah
80s.
Thomas,
right?
Magic Johnson. I mean, if you just go strictly now, Jordan obviously played in the 90s, but if you just want to say guys that played the bulk of their careers before 1990, then you're excluding Magic, Bird, Isaiah, Kareem, and obviously Russell, Chamberlain, Oscar, Jerry West, Dr. J. Like, really? Come on, Gilbert. How about doing a little, making it a little challenge?
Chris,
how
can
about
I say
watching
this?
a little film and looking at some numbers and you know what I mean? Like, instead of just writing off, I can't even look at the 90s.
Can we do this, Chris? We have a little bit of footage of Babe Ruth. Just a little bit of footage, right? Of him swinging. Most of it is just black and white pictures of Babe Ruth.
Right.
Can we sit here and say Babe Ruth wasn't one of the greatest baseball players who ever played because we didn't see him play? No, we can't.
Good point. Good point.
I mean, come on.
Great point.
The numbers speak for themselves. I don't care who the guys he played against, Chris, he didn't run the league. He didn't run that blacks and Hispanics didn't play. Those were the players who played during that day. All he could do was play. And he was way better than everybody who played. I'm sorry. I can't say I'm going to discount him because I didn't watch him play live.
Now, before I go any further, this is the part that I love, right? We got some people on, hey, man, y'all can't really create content. Y'all always talking about what other people said. So what's Chris Broussard and Rob Parker? What are they doing? Aren't they not reacting to it? What was sports media about? This guy said this, Charles Barkley said that, so let's react to this guy. And then Charles Barkley reacts to what this guy. Nice try, guys. It's not a hack. Nobody's hacking their way here to views. It's called hard work. Maybe if you put in some hard work, you realize that everything ain't no simple trick. This is not a Houdini trick. This is Saturday. I should be relaxing, but we're here working. That's the reason why, guys. Just wanted to throw that out there for the dweebs. They keep thinking, oh, this is blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so, what more can I really say about this? Like, what else can we say? It's gotten to the point now where some of our viewers have actually been reaching out to us and they're like, please stop reacting to Gilbert Arenas. Why do you think they're saying this? They're saying this because I think they believe that the more we cover the things that this guy says, the more we're giving his nonsense a platform to breathe. And the more his nonsense has a platform to breathe, the more people are going to be hearing this nonsense, and it's going to create silly, ignorant, stupid debates. That's the first thing. The second thing is, and I don't understand this, what is it with some players and the history of the game? It seems like some guys, I don't know what it is. Is it that, I don't know. Is it that, I guess, going back to know the heritage of your game, to know who came before you? I don't know. Is it that it takes so much work to do that? Is it that, okay, well, for me to know how these guys are playing in the 80s and the 70s, whatever, this will require me, man, I got to watch film. I may need to do some research online. I may need to go to basketballreference.com. I may need to read some books. Oh, man, I don't know if I can do all of that. So I think the best thing I'm going to say is just, man, those guys don't matter. Like, why do so many guys relish in being stupid and not having information? Like, don't you realize if you have more knowledge of the sport, you can make better takes than saying, I don't count anybody beyond the 90s. Like, why wouldn't you? Well, because their playing style. It's the era. It's just the era and the playing styles. You prefer a certain style. It doesn't mean that these guys playing this style is better than the other guys playing that style. The rules a lot of the times dictates the playing styles. That's number one. Number two, and just because guys are playing under different styles, it doesn't mean that they couldn't play in opposing styles. So like, what are we talking about here? What's the point these guys be making? So, okay, you don't want to count players in the past and past the 90s. So you're not counting Jordan. You can't because, well, I want to count. No, you don't. Jordan's card, as Chris Broussard said, in 84. So you're not going to count Jordan. You're not going to count Pippen. You're not going to count Magic Johnson. You're not going to count Larry Bird. You're not going to count Charles Barkley. You're not going to count, Kareem. You're not going to count so many players, James Worthy, Bernard King. You're not going to count all of these guys, Frazier, Clyde, like, you're not going to count all of these guys. And I'm like, okay, you're not going to count them, and then you're at the same time you're going to say that these guys couldn't play in this era. Like what? The thing that I don't understand is what informs this thinking process. I don't understand it. Like, since when did it become so fashionable to be so stupid? I don't get it. Where are we heading? Why is ignorance being rewarded and being praised? You're basically saying, I don't want to know. I don't want to have any more information. This is enough information for me there, and I'm going to make my opinion and feel like as if you're giving a robust take on things. This is why I'm surprised that Stephen A. Smith said he's bringing this guy. Why? Why are you going to contaminate the airwaves with this nonsense? But to me, I don't understand it. I don't know what Gilbert Arenas is talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. Just my take, man. Y'all can make sense of this, man. I don't know what this cat be. I don't know what he be talking about, man. I don't know what he be talking about. Catch y'all on next episode. Peace.